Welcome back to Any Recapped. Today we will cover the series Charlotte. Make sure to subscribe to Any Recapped and hit the bell icon to be the first one to watch our new recaps. Let's begin. The show starts with a young boy walking through a busy city, pondering Spinoza's idea of existence. He wonders whether he would become another person if he stopped thinking as himself and started thinking as someone else. Yu Otosaka is a young boy with telekinetic powers that let him possess another person for 5 seconds. Due to this ability, he takes advantage of multiple situations such as peeking at girls, making punks fight among themselves, or getting top grades in his exam. Using these abilities, he manages to get top grades on Hinamori High School's entrance exam and sparks a flame in the hearts of female students. With popularity, his phone's message box starts to fill up with fangirls and he has no choice but to reject them. One time, when a girl urgently calls him out on a place, he is met by some bootleg character in his saga, and he lies to her that he has no time for her since he needs time for studying. Because his eyes are on none other than the popular Yumi Shirayanaji, he believes it is retarded to hang out with some cringy fangirls who would fall for anyone. While leaving for home, he spots Yumi with her friend, and by using his ability, he creates a situation where he manages to save her from the truck. To assist her further and make his presence known to her heart, he complies to take her to the nurse's office since she is injured. After they are done, she requests that he join them since they are going to a restaurant, and her friend assists Yuta by excusing herself. At the restaurant, she teaches him about different methods of eating, and he is surprised to find out that the taste feels different than usual. Afterward, the two start messaging each other, and she asks him to walk her home, since he feels he is almost near his goal of getting into a relationship with her. He rejoices by screaming in the class. However, he is soon met with the news that the student council requires his presence. The student council's president, Omura, informs him that he is being suspected of cheating in the entrance exams and demands that he give them again. Yuna refuses since he can't cheat with just one person in the room, but he is informed that he will only face expulsion if he leaves, prompting him to give the test. After he uses his ability to cheat during the test, a girl with a camera confronts him, providing him with all the photos from the times he used his abilities to make people fight among themselves and cheat during the exam. Because someone else finds his ability as a massive shock for him, he runs away panicking. Due to Jojiro Takajo's incredible speed, he quickly manages to catch up with Yu and beats him into submission. After the girl with the camera, Tomori arrives. She explains that they are from a certain high school that people with mysterious abilities attend, and he will have to start attending their school, although he doesn't quite believe her words. She demonstrates her ability by beating him to a pulp without him noticing her presence. Once he arrives at his home, he is welcomed by his little sister, Ayumi, who enthusiastically delivers him the good news of transferring to another high school, making him believe Tomori's words. The following day, they shift all their luggage to the room their new school provided, and after they finish, Yu decides to meet up with Yui. After apologizing for his behavior, he explains to her that he is transferring to another school, which is pretty far away from the current one, shocking her. However, when he asks whether she could come to see him from time to time, she immediately dumps him. And thus, his short fairy tale comes to an end, not even lasting a single episode. After Tomori helps out with moving stuff around their room, she plays with Ayumi, cheering her up at her new place. Once they are done with their dinner, his sister informs him that her school is right next to him, and asks that they leave together. However, since he needs to evade the eyes of the Siskan police, he straight up refuses. That night, he had a dream of him and his sister accompanying someone slightly older than them. The following day, as he departs for school, his sister hands him his lunch, which is pretty much what he eats every day. Honestly, he should start eating grass for a change now. At the school, Tomori informs him that most students still need to develop their powers but are expected to do so soon. Usually, they aren't allowed to abuse their powers, but since they will be catching other students with these abilities, she informs Yu that he will help them by arresting those who try to flee. After their class, Yu notices that Tomori doesn't interact much with anyone but slides it off since he needs to visit the cafeteria. During lunch, Jojiro grabs sandwiches using his ability, which results in him getting injured and a fountain of blood pouring out of his head. Though he doesn't think it is terrible, he assures Yu that he isn't injured at all, impressing him with his pain tolerance. In the student council office, a student named Takedo, also nicknamed Collaborator, points them to a location and informs them that someone with an ability is studying there. He immediately leaves and Tomori instructs Yu to hurry. Since he feels that they aren't police, he objects, but in return he gets the reply that if the police get their hands on him, his life is over, prompting him to hurry. They come upon a student carrying pictures of another student whose undies are exposed due to psychic ability, though they soon find out that he only bought them from someone else and rush toward the psychic. At the archery club, Tomori confronts him and exposes his ludicrous methods of earning money since he is immorally taking pictures of others without their consent. To buzz her off, he threatens to take her pictures in her underwear, but she doesn't care and buys time till Yu and Jojiro arrive, and the former controls him and sends his card flying toward Tomori. With no choice left, he points his arrow toward her and shoots, leading to Jojiro saving her. They assure her he will have an everyday life at Star Ocean Academy and won't have to worry about the scientists dissecting him and scaring him. On their way back, Yu inquires about her brother, who was taken away by the scientists. Since she doesn't feel it should be kept a secret, she takes him in the following day. On the train, she informs him about her past. In a flashback, Tomori gets admission into a prestigious school, but their mother informs them that they will have to attend another school since she feels it is better for them. Hearing this, her brother gets mad because he is aiming for a music school due to his love and passion for it. After learning about his ability to manipulate sound waves, the scientists abducted and experimented with him. By the time Tomori could see him in person, he was no longer the brother she knew. Instead, it was a soulless pit bearing the face of someone she loved. Upon entering his room, they find that he is screaming, and Tomori informs him that it is his way of singing his song. Later, at his home, Yu ponders that if he continues using his powers recklessly, he might start creating problems for his little sister. Yu departs his room and his sister hands him lunch once again, much to his displeasure. When Jojiro sees him in class, he observes that he isn't in a good mood and tells him about a particular meal. He goes to the cafeteria with Jojiro, who risks damage by using his teleportation ability to get the delicious beef curry for the two. When their collaborator notifies them about a user said to have 2 talents in the student council office, Yu, Tomori, and Jir decide to investigate. During their inquiry, they come across a strange person. After beating him up, he discloses that he was directed to go for Yusa Nishimori, the famous singing idol and singer of the band Hello Hello. After that, her buddy appears, and to prove that they are indeed attempting to assist her, Tomori exhibits her talent by disappearing in front of him, winning his confidence. He brings them to a club where they meet Yusa, who tells them about her habit of sleeping there and waking up somewhere else. Even her doctors are perplexed by her state and have diagnosed her with a bipolar personality disorder. However, Tomori assures her that that is not the case and that they will assist her. When Tomori inquires about Yusa's origins, her friends reveal that she has been like this since her elder sister, Misa, died, and she is suddenly possessed by her deceased sister, who is dead. She quickly demonstrates her pyrokinesis, allowing her to burn things instantly. Yusa then explains that she was pursued after accidentally bringing home a television producer's phone which contained shady facts about him. To deal with the television producer, Tomori devises a threatening plan. Misa, in the guise of Yusa, confronts the television producer that night. Because she doesn't want the television producer to bother her sister again, she devises a plan in which Yu and the others use their powers to make it appear as if she is the one doing everything, prompting the producer to beg for his safety. She hands him the phone back, warning him not to come in her way again, and he quickly obeys and flees. Following that, Tomori arranges for Yusa to transfer to Hashinumi Academy. At the same time, Sho confesses his feelings for Misa, who tells him to follow his own life and thanks him for everything. When he gets home, Ayumi scolds him for being late again, and he tells her that he saw Yusa in person, and that she is transferring to their school, causing her to bleed from excitement. Following another embarrassing morning for Yu, their instructor announces Yusa's transfer, and everyone is thrilled to meet her. Nobody in the class stops despite the teachers yelling, but when Yusa urges everyone to quiet, a soulless nothingness descends as if no life had ever lived in millennia. After everything is sorted and their lesson is done, everyone begins surrounding Yusa and asking for her phone number, which eventually leads to Yusa assisting them in reconciling. Tomori abruptly interrupts and takes her and the boys to the student council office to meet the collaborator for their next job. They warn Yusa not to be afraid of him since others frequently see him as a creep. He tells them of their 3rd mission at Kanai Academy, where a pupil is suspected of possessing telekinesis. Tomori shows them a video of Arifumi Fukuyama, a baseball pitcher who delivers knuckleballs using his ability rather than his grip. They approach Arifumi, who refuses to quit utilizing his ability since he feels it was bestowed on him for him to become a great player. However, Tomori is forced to divulge the scientist's experiments to him, after which Misa threatens him. Despite this, he refuses to back down and utilizes his abilities. To get him to stop, Tomori arranges a baseball game between the 2 schools' baseball teams, stipulating that if Hashinumi Academy wins, Arifumi will cease utilizing his power. Yu and his colleagues abstain from utilizing abilities against their opponents throughout the game. However, since they are losing ground, Tomori suggests that they begin utilizing, and Yu then directs their batters to cause them to miss their shots purposefully. After 8 innings, both sides scored equally. Yu smacks a couple of foul balls in the 9th inning and misses sprints from second base to home plate. Hashinami then defeats Kanai by a score of 2-1. Arifumi confesses that he simply uses his ability to assist Takato, the catcher, and his best friend, in training to make the National League. The others convince Takato that Arifumi may still greatly assist him, such as by cheering him on from the sidelines. Hearing this, Arifumi promises to refrain from utilizing his ability and departs. Later, after returning to his room, Yu hopes that he does not discover anything cursed with a dish, but his nightmare comes true when he has to eat the cursed pizza sauce on his dish once again. Another day, another school craze. Suddenly, several female students enter the classroom and take Tomori away. When Yu notices this, he asks Yojiro, who has no idea except that they are suspicious. Concerned about her, he pursues her till they reach a point where the students encircle her. One of them begins to beat her up, and she does nothing except suffer their abuse. Yu hesitates to intervene since he believes it may be another girl's issue. He then approaches her, but she doesn't say anything. Because the collaborator has assigned them a new job, they rush to the student council office, where everyone is startled to discover her battered up like that. Misa begins planning her revenge until Tomori calms her down. Their next mission is to find a person with levitation abilities who have been observed soaring throughout the city, according to Tomori. She proposes a scheme to entice him by camping in the mountains. Before they go there, they stop by a supermarket to get ingredients for the BBQ party, and Yusa notices Yu and Tomori acting more like a couple than simply friends. They grill the veggies and meat in the mountains with Mrs. Aide, and after a beautiful supper, Yusa and Yojiro spend their time together playing games. Tomori walks off, and Yu follows her into the woods, where she is listening to a song by her favorite band. Yu inquires about them, and she says that the band was her brother's favorite, and she began listening to them because of him. Since Yu loves listening to their songs, she gives him her music player, assuring him that she will buy a new one with the funds they will receive from the school. The next night, Jojiro advises him to strengthen his power since he only has 2 years until it vanishes. To lure the dude out, Tomori stays one more day, and this time she succeeds. Sato, the one who can fly, is weary of seeing random clowns on his turf and confronts them, ordering them to buzz off. However, Tomori catches him in her trap, and as he attempts to flee, Yu possesses him in mid-air, knocking him to the ground. He vows to quit utilizing his abilities when they explain the repercussions of being apprehended by the authorities. Yu is surprised when he gets home because he can finally eat something without the famed pizza sauce. It takes him 5 episodes to have a proper meal. Episode 6. Ayumi is still recovering from her illness, so Yu advises her to remain home while he heads out to school. They hear at the student council office that there is a student with a collapsed ability who, shockingly, lives in the same apartment as Yu. Believing it to be Ayumi since she suddenly fell ill, they decide to visit her. On the other hand, Yu wants Yusa to join them since his sister is a huge fan of hers. When he approaches Yojiro and tells him not to accompany them because he would ruin the mood, Tomori quickly notices and throws him out of the room. Ayumi is surprised and overjoyed to find that Yusa has paid her a personal visit to their flat. She soon departs, however, due to her job, and the three spend some time together, with Ayumi making fun of them for being in a relationship. As Tomori prepares to depart, Ayumi discloses that she had a nightmare, but Yu stops her from elaborating so as not to bother her anymore. Outside, Tomori instructs him to get information on his younger sister's dream, which might be crucial. When he questions her about it, she states she doesn't remember anything but things collapsing. While he's getting ready for school the next day, he advises his sister to take the day off so she can rest properly. However, after Yu is gone, she slips out of her apartment and goes to school. Tomori hears about this in the student council office and chastises Yu for being reckless, but he responds that he told the guard not to allow her out. Meanwhile, a friend approaches her at school and offers to take her to a meal. Her other buddy, however, quickly comes to her aid and she departs for her class. On her way, she runs into a classmate who swiftly discloses her murderous intent, claiming that she took his partner. She rushes away swiftly since he has a blade in her hand, but when she reaches a dead end, her power awakens unconsciously. The whole building collapses. Little Ayumi, who once bloomed like an amaryllis, soon withers away in a furious storm. By the time the student council shows up there, it is already too late and Yu desperately look for the little blossom he once so dearly loved. Will you find a way to save his little sister? What do you guys think? Find out in the next video. For now, leave us a like and subscribe to our channel.